Hi, boys and girls. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about strategies or tools that beginning readers use to help them when they're reading. And the first strategy we're going to talk about is the point and read strategy. And this is really important. We're going to use our pointer finger and we're going to point to each word as we're reading it. I also know that today we'll be reading our We Go booklet, and this is a great way for me to share with you how these strategies can work for you, whether we're doing a booklet together or you're doing it on your own. So the point and read, we would look here at the title and we would point. We, and this might be a word that you don't know, and that's okay. I'm going to tell you that this is the word go. And on each page of this booklet, we are going to use that same strategy. And what's cool about this booklet and many of our sight word booklets that we're going to get, they have little dots under each word, and those little dots are there to remind you that that's where your finger goes. So we would point and we would read, we go to the park. Now, let's talk about some other strategies that may help us, especially with this page. So we have the point and read strategy. The next strategy, we've talked about this already, it's the check the picture strategy. Remember, you might recognize some words and then come to a word that's a little more challenging for a kindergartner. But if you look at the picture and you think about the beginning sound of the word you might not know, it might help you. So let's take a look at this page right here. So we can be using that point to each word. We go to the, and here we come to a word. This word starts with the letter P. If you know P makes a P sound, and you look at this, you might think park or even playground. This happens to be park, and you would be correct. Now, there's some other strategies that are helping us read this page. So let's take a look at the third strategy. The third strategy is look for treasure words. Now, think about it. If you were to find a treasure, it would hold a lot of value. It would be worth a lot to you. Maybe a treasure pot of gold that would be worth a lot of money. It would mean a lot to you. Well, treasure words mean a lot to us because they are words that our brain automatically recognizes. And when our brain automatically recognizes them, then we become more fluent readers. And it's okay if we don't have a lot of treasure words right now. I promise you, you are going to get them. This year, we're going to work really hard on helping you recognize sight words and trick words. So what we're going to do is start looking for our treasure words. And our treasure words we hold deep in our heart because they are valuable to us. They help us to become better readers. You've already learned 3 treasure words. Take a look underneath here. You've learned the word see. You've learned the word the. You've learned the word see. And we learned the word we. Some of you already know the sight word I. And we've talked about that when we've written some of our sentences or read some sentences. And this is one you might be familiar with too. Or a. And these other ones are can, is, and like. But you're going to have a whole long list of treasure words. So let's take a look at our page here. Again, we're pointing as we read. We, which, did you recognize as a treasure word? We go to another treasure word. The, and again, here we use that strategy of check out the picture, the park. Good job. And the last strategy that I want to introduce you to is the keep in mind what repeats strategy. How many of you have heard the story, brown bear, what do you see? Well, if you have heard it, every page starts just like that. Brown bear, what did you see? Now, in our books, many of our beginning reader books, each page has a pattern. The words repeat. So we've been reading this page over and over again. In this page again, treasure word, we go to Treasure word, the park. As we turn the page, you may recognize some of the words because they just appeared on this page. We have a pattern that is repeating. We go to the, and here we come across a word that we might not know as kindergartners, but we do know it starts with the letter B. We know the letter B makes the B sound. And let's look at the picture. Can you guess what that word is? If you said bus, you're right. So today, there's a lot of strategies that I just introduced to you, but I bet you there's some that you've heard along the way. And believe me, these are strategies that we are going to be using all the time in kindergarten. And when we do our shared reading like this, and shared reading means that everybody has the same book and we're all looking at our own copy of it. When we do shared readings like this, we're going to use all those strategies. So just as a quick review, I'm going to slide this up. Our first strategy is the point and read. And we're going to point to each word as we read it. The second strategy that we've talked about last week was to check the picture. Think to yourself, does it make sense? Especially when you come to an unknown word. The picture clue can be very helpful. And then we've been talking about this because we are learning treasure words, words that are so valuable to us. They are our sight words, words that our brains will start to recognize the more we practice them and see them in print. And they are going to help us to become more fluent readers. And the last one, many beginning reading books have patterns. Keep in mind what repeats because you often see the same words on each page, just the way we did on the first pages of this book. So today when we practice reading, we go, I want you to try to keep in mind all of these great beginning reader strategies.